Hello and welcome to our second YouTube show. This is the place where you learn practical tools, tips, and tricks from your fellow entrepreneurs. And we make these videos because you're either having a hard time dealing with yourself as you're pushing to get better at serving others. I'm your lead host, Fernando Academy Jr. of TLDR Digital Marketing. And I'm in a mission to introduce or reintroduce compassion for yourself and for others, helping you succeed in your mission in life as you help others do the same. And for today's episode, we'll talk about how you can use Notion app for life work integration so you can focus on the things that matter in your life. More about that later. So, without further ado, please help me welcome our guest for today, the founder of MOVI Media and a longtime friend, Nes Zeus Matias.
Hi, hello. I
Welcome,
love the
welcome, Nes.
energy here on your channel.
I try to
This
keep
is
it that
very,
way, at least at the first part.
it's very exciting.
Welcome, Nes.
And I'm glad that you have me on board. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to have this conversation with you. Uh, for those who do not know, my screen is stuck and my video is paused. So I'll get to that a little later. Meanwhile, there you go. Meanwhile, I'll be asking some questions for Nes. And
That's okay. It happens when we go live.
are you there, Nes?
Yeah, I'm here.
Are you there?
All good?
Hey, hello, check.
Hi.
There you go. Hi, Nes. Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
All
clear.
right. So while we're at it, sorry for the technical issue here. While waiting for my
Okay.
camera to pop up, I'll be asking Nes some questions, and hopefully he can tell us more about what is it that he do and how he
Sure.
got into it. So Nes, I know you from uh, I think for more than 10 years by now,
Oh,
and
was it 10
we've
years
met
already?
mostly. Yeah, met mostly in events and in multimedia, and now you have your own business in video production. So please tell us what is it that you do and how you got into video production.
Okay, so we founded our video production company with my partner and girlfriend. So she's my partner in life. So we started videography, this video production, after gaining some experience in the field as well. And what's very interesting that we were able to work with multinational brands, and so just to show you a bit of our website, and we also do photography. That's us, and here are our clients that we have worked with. So feel free to contact us you if you require our services as well. So it's gonna be fun. And also, aside from video production work, I also am a member of the best trading community here in the Philippines. It's called the Z Freaks Tribe. So if you want to learn more about trading the stock market and cryptocurrencies and even other markets, feel free to just message our Facebook page, and our admins will message you back. All right. So there you have it. So that's me. So basically, I do video production for a living, and it's also my passion. And that's also what I can say about my trading. It has been a great journey that I can say that it has really contributed a lot to my growth as a person. So there.
I'm really interested to know more. You said that your video production work and your trading contributed to your growth as a person. Why did you say why did you say so? Or how do you say so?
Oh, well, I think it's more of in the pursuit of being of trying to be a better person. I wanted to pick up some skills along the way, and being very from videography, where it's one of my biggest interests in life. uh, and I think I along the way I kind of gained a lot of experience, and I learned a lot by say talking to more clients and handling different projects, something like that. And also, since I got into trading a few years ago, and then I got serious when the pandemic hit. And in the pursuit of financial freedom, I joined a community because I know that I can't do it alone. So after that, it became more of a journey to self mastery. So it's it has been a year since it has been more than 6 months, I think, since I joined this community, and I'm very grateful for everything that I've learned. So there you have it. Okay, meanwhile, while Fernando or Dudes is fixing his camera
Right.
or
Yeah.
mic,
Here you
are
go.
you back?
And when we were talking about trading, Nes was mentioning about how he started to get into NFTs,
Oh yeah.
cryptocurrency, and also nowadays, other than it being a trend, it's also really have become a good skill to learn, especially in this country. So yeah, uh, my next question would be: you've mentioned about your business, you've mentioned about trading, and of course, you have your own personal life to manage. Given a lot
Mhm.
of things to think about, uh, is this what got you into finding out which tool to be used for managing your life work integration?
Yeah. Work-life integration. I really believe in that. I don't believe in work-life balance, because if we think that way, well, in my case, whenever I try to balance things, it becomes stressful. So why not just integrate it all together, so that every aspect of my life can be beneficial to the other aspects of my life. So I think uh, during my creative journey, I always look for a tool that would help me get things done in a simple way. So I think you're already familiar with a lot of different tools, right? Like Trello, OneNote, Slack, um, and among other things like OneNote also. Okay, and then I stumbled upon this Notion. I think this was introduced to me by an agency, and this is where they they put all of their data and their works. This is their workspace as well. This serves as um, their platform also to also manage their clients and onboarding new hires in their agency as well. So, and it's very interesting because it's very neat and very powerful in its own way. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm really curious now. If you, for those who are listening or watching today, if you go to YouTube and type in Notion, most people that you would, or most YouTubers that you would see, are really using Notion app for managing their creative work. And it's really interesting to know why and how to use it. So, without further ado, and I guess this is the best way we could help you out, I'll get Nes to teach us how to use Notion and how he has been using it for his trading, his business, and also managing his life. Take it away, Nes.
Okay, all right. So let me just find because I've done a webinar before. Also, I introduced Notion to our community as well, and then one of the things that I made was a webinar for them just to introduce everything about basically just the basics of Notion here. So there, so the introduction and why I use Notion because it's simple and it's already what I need and it's very effective in integrating my work and life. So me as a creative, as a also as a trader and like that. Okay. So we in Notion you get to think in blocks in the way that you're going to have some pages over here that you can create. All right. So this is a new page, and then with this, you can every block here can be turned into different types of blocks. So just a run through over here is that we have different um, blocks such as lists, headings, and page. So depending on the format that you want. So okay, and then also another interesting thing here is that when you, when you just type away on this block, you can turn it into another page, right? So there's a page within a page. So that's interesting. And then one of my favorite things to do for those Excel lovers or those who want tables, you can do it here. So there's a difference with inline pages and full pages. So if you're gonna select a full page, it will turn into this table page that's on this main page that we did. But then you can also just turn it into an inline. So you can see it already here without even going into it, getting inside that page. Okay. Then on this one, so this is basically a database already, and I'm just showing you how to do it. All right. And then I just like things simple, not a lot of databases, but um, I just make it the way I need. So okay, so if we go back to that Notion page, let me just here. Okay, so this is very. You can also customize the page by changing its cover, its icon, and you can also embed. There's a lot of different things that you can do with this tool. So you can embed images, links, websites, and you can even link this page over here. All right, okay, and then other features are here as well. So I'm not gonna run through every single block, but it's amazing what you can do with this. Okay, and what else can I show you? Hmm, I think here, I think I can show you this one. This I placed a routine here just so I know what I should calibrate. So this is basically a day in the life of um, my life. And the way I think about this is I also work in interchangeable time blocks. So maybe I can focus on trading in the morning, and then I can work in the afternoon and chill in the evening. So these are things that are interchangeable. So depending on the type of work, say for example, I have an ongoing project and I can focus on that the whole day. I can do it like that. Or I just want to chill all day during the weekends. Usually, I can do that as well. Okay, going back. So so here I designed a somehow what we can call a life hub or a dashboard for others. So I just here's just a declaration that I just wanna say every time I see this, and just some quote to remember things. Okay, and then here I have my agenda because I want to see what the things that I should do during this week and in the next 2 weeks or the whole month. I can do it here. So let me introduce to you the different views. So you can, so this is already an inline page, a table inline page. And then what I can do is change it to different types of views. So here are samples for, you can do board view, timeline view. So we have a timeline view here so that I know where I am. And then with this one, I can sort it by the date or descending or ascending. This is a powerful, an easy tool as well to do whenever you're in different pages. So, say I'm also have a board here. So board, you can see this is very similar to Trello, and these are the three areas in my life that are very important to me. So here we are right now. So there's the video production stuff. It's MOVI Media. ZFT is for my anything that has to do with the trading community. Since we have a lot of stuff going on there that I need to pay attention to as well. And in my growth as a trader, these are things that I should be working on as well. And so by area, and I also have a different filter called matrix. So if you're familiar with Eisenhower's matrix, he sorts things in a way, it's a quadrant, that it's urgent, important, not important, and not urgent. So with one glance, I can already see the things that are urgent and important, and you can also see here that both of these are uh, urgent and important. So the priority here it would be this one. Okay. And then what else? You can also use a gallery. I haven't tried it here yet because I don't need it really. So this is very useful for doing different mood boards for your inspiration as well. Okay. So, but by default, it's on the calendar view. So I can have an overview of my week and my whole month. This is very simple and powerful. Okay, and then below here, well, before that, so say I here we can do some filtering. So I have here where done is unchecked. So I can only see the things that are not yet done, because we have a saying that um, uh, we have the saying that out of sight, out of mind. There, that I remembered. So if I want to see the things I did before, this is checked. But if I just want to see, because I want to focus on the different of the on the things that I need to do, I don't have to look at what I've done already. So just that they're just out of my sight. Okay, there, and then you can also sort them by date or by insane by our matrix if it's important, not urgent, something like that. You can also add that in your filter actually. And if I want to see the things that are urgent, I can do this here in the filter. Okay. But I love to keep things simple. I just click here done and it's out of sight, out of mind. Okay. Other things here. Before I already also have columns here of the whole week, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But I don't really need that anymore since it's redundant with this one. But here are things that this is where I dump some of the tasks or ideas that I want to do or I want to remember that I don't have it scheduled yet. So there, because I want to keep learning stuff, and here are things that are on my reading list and things I wanted to create for a very long time, and here are things that are related to my trading. All right, and then I don't have any ideas right now, but this is a newly created columns that maybe I can just dump ideas there here so that I can remember later or do it. Okay, and then others are just random things. Okay, and then I have the quote here from a Stoic guy: when you know what's important, when you know what you value, and you know where you're going, it's easier to ignore what doesn't matter and focus on what does matter. I place it here just to remind me of this very important concept, to focus on things that matter. And so hence, so if you see my dashboard is just very simple, not a lot of databases, but you can always customize it the way that you want. You know what? I can show you some templates here, available templates that are already here. So here's an example of that gallery view I mentioned. So and they assign different tags or properties. Okay, and here's what others have also. And I think there's a lot of different templates out there that are not in here that other designers and creatives are already did that we can start off with. So this is another example of very useful stuff. So with this, you can just use this template and you can duplicate it and organize it the way that you want. Okay, customize it so that it can really be yours there. I think I've already here's a if you're a student also you can get some ideas here on how to use it. So there also, it also works for designers. For here are some meeting notes, design task, and if you're in marketing, you can have a content calendar here. So they're just using a Kanban system. So here's an idea and what's in progress, what's done. We also have some travel planners here and Life Wiki. So there's a lot of different use cases for Notion that that's how powerful yet simple it is, right? And the more complex stuff are also here as well. So it's good that you can also add your team here. So person you can assign them here. Okay. Then for sales, support, and so really the the possibilities are endless with Notion. It's just how you want it to work for you. So in my case, it's just a simple hub with all the different things that I need to do. So this is our page for movie for our video production company. So I only have a Trello a board here with what we're doing. So here are things that we need to meet for pre-prod, pre-production, and then here are the next shoots that we have and some edits and what's next. There are things that are already done after this and other projects as well that we want to add. And here are just some different tasks that we should also pay attention to. Okay, and then just some finance stuff and some templates because most of the time I just duplicate this project template and put it here or anywhere there. And once I'm done with the project, I can move it to the to the project archive or another folder archive here for the um, meetings templates. Okay, so I can show you. I think I can show you this. So we have this template that I just fill out every time we have a new project. So this includes some brief, the web links, references, and what kind of team do we need for this project, timelines and budget. So these are all already things that I should ask the client when we get into the project. Okay. And just our links for our socials and websites as well. And then here on this published links toggle, I can see I just dump every project that we've done, and it's filtered with we have different columns here: client, the link where it's published, and when. Um, I, the, I decided these three columns because if I want to sort, if I if I want to sort this by client, I can do so by doing it here. So let's say I would just want to see all the projects I've done with Lazada. That's one filter. Okay. There, and this is also a reference point for our team as well. So if we want to go back to a project instead of looking at on Facebook or YouTube, we just search it here. Okay, so that's very convenient for us. So it's very simple, not a lot of sections as you can see. Okay, and here I also manage my finances that I can show you. Okay, and then here this is a very big part of my life here in ZFT, and here are things that we do. So and also as a trader, I have this page where I this is something that I look at before trading just to remind me of of these things. So I also have a routine. So we treat trading as a sport. So if we're not really in the right state of mind, we step back and recalibrate and just relax for a bit until we're already feeling that we can perform very well because that's very crucial for us also. You can learn we I learned this from our trading psychology class, so it's not just technical analysis. So that's also what I meant when I said that this contributed um, to my growth, because we learn so different many different things. It's okay. And then so before trading, I do this. I check each one of them after I've done it. I meditate for because it's important to prime myself before getting into the charts. Okay. And then there you go. And then after trading, I do this. I also have some trading rules, trading management, and entries. There we go. And here's a link to the premium to the playbook that I am currently mastering. There, I think I've introduced basically what I that's my workflow, and this is my dashboard. So I hope you get an idea of how powerful Notion is to organize your life in the way that it works for you.
All right. Thank you very much for that, Ness. And I'm back, guys.
Welcome
Uh,
back.
that was really an in-depth description of Notion. I was taking notes while you were at it. So I have, I mean, for those who are watching, we were talking about this app not because we just want to, but also, the main reasons why life management is important, because as an entrepreneur we don't have that kind of structure or external pressure that we used to have when we were employed, and which is a double-edged sword, because the pace of growth of our ventures depends on how we manage ourselves. The decision making process we go through every day depends on how well we have primed ourselves for success. You can't be emotional in decision making for business. You can't be also for trading. You can't be emotional, and I mean, you should be somewhat stable in decision
Neutral.
making,
Yes.
just so you can make the right decisions when you need to. And that's why I thought of inviting Ness, because other than just taking notes or putting tasks in their proper places, you really have to put them on the calendar and contextualize it to where it applies in your life. uh, Most entrepreneurs or wanapreneurs experience this, that we start a business, we name a business, but we end up being freelancers in that business. And if you structure your business in a way that, or if you structure your life in a way that it is contextualized in a business, you treat your time a little bit more strict, because you see yourself as employed in your business instead of in other people's business. But also, there's so much pressure there that you should put in yourself, so you can see your. I mean, when you were employed, there are dreams that you would want to get into, but you can't because you are limited by the structure. But when you get out of that and build your own, you also have to. You also need that stable structure to keep your goals and your dreams aligned, but also your efforts. So thank you very much for that very in-depth description of Notion. Nes. Before you got into Notion app, what were your go-to tools?
I think Trello. I never used Evernote or OneNote, but I know it works for others. But one of my favorite things about Trello is that you can have a Kanban system. So it's just an easy tool. Another thing is the to-do list,
Mm-hmm.
and it really looks simple because you just see your whole week and the next week. So I think I also have that kind of calendar view on my desk, physically. I have a calendar paper as well. But when I saw Notion and what it can do, it's really just powerful, and it's just easy to use.
Right. So guys, we're not really sponsored by Notion, and maybe someday somehow.
Someday.
For me, I've used a lot of these productivity tools just because I've been with many teams who uses a lot of them. Todoist,
Yes, to-do list.
Monday.com,
G tasks.
ClickUp, Gtasks. Also Trello, of course. ClickUp, Infinity. There's a lifetime deal ongoing with Infinity app. Uh, the Google Suite itself is a really
Yeah.
powerful productivity tool now, and how it is integrated with a lot of tools like Google Meet and Zoom and your calendar and your CRM and such. So there are really a lot of tools there, but we're promoting, or we're talking about Notion now just because of the ease of use, but
Yes.
also if you put your time, say, it will appear overwhelming at first, but if you set things up properly, you'd be a lot organized for the rest of your life, so
Yeah.
to speak.
Well,
So
you know what I've showed you is just it's just the surface of Notion, because others are really use it for advanced cases. So they already integrated their Google Calendar,
mhm,
they they also imported their Trello into the app as well, and then even Google Calendar. So every time that we have entries on our Gmail, on our calendar, on our um, Google Forms, it can already make a database for you, a table inside Notion. That's how there's an API integration for that, and even for Slack, I think it's a lot of
mhm.
different things that you really can do with Notion.
Right,
But for
right,
me, I just like to keep it simple, you know. But maybe one day, I if if it can benefit me, in a way, I
right.
can start doing that.
Yeah, like Les was saying, you are using these tools to make things simpler for you, not to get it more complicated. So you are in these tools
Right.
for you to use them that in a manner that makes you more productive and not otherwise, not taking time away from what you need to do. So I think we have covered a good number of topics now, but we are not yet done. Stay tuned for more. I'll give you a few minutes to take a breather, Ness, and for also for
Sure.
taking over that part of the stream while my camera
My
was acting up.
pleasure.
So I'll give
No worries.
you a few minutes to take a breather while I mention some announcements from our partners.
All right.
So, guys, I want to let you know about the incredible opportunity to get free tips and strategies to build your money, or I mean, to build your brand and monetize your personal brand. If you go to tldrcorp.com slash brand summit, that's tldrcorp.com slash brand summit, you will see what I'm talking about. But here's a quick overview. My good friend Rory Vaden is a New York Times best-selling author and a Hall of Fame speaker, and he and his wife founded a company called Brand Builders Group. And they have put together a huge online summit where they interviewed some of the most influential personal brands in the world on their never before shared secrets how they became who they are today. This is a chance to learn for free from people like Les Brown, a world renowned motivational speaker, Lewis House, a New York Times bestselling author, Michael Hyatt, also a New York Times bestselling author and former CEO of Thomas Nelson, a research company, Dennis Rodman, have an interview with Rory Vaden there, Jay Baer, also a New York Times bestselling author, Donald Miller, and Ed Tate, and a lot more. And again, the link is tldrcorp.com slash brand summit. This is a rare opportunity for you to hear the stories behind these New York Times bestselling authors and how they built high paid keynote speaking careers and how they grown massive online following. And they will tell you exactly what they have done to create large multiple seven figure businesses. Again, this is not, I don't do this, but I have watched these videos and these are really helpful. So I really want to encourage you to head over to tldrcorp.com slash brand summit. to get a free 30-day access to the influential personal brand summit and at least take a look. I feel super confident that you will find it valuable. So let's get back to you, Nes. Are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. I have a few more questions to ask you. Some of this
Sure.
may be a bit more personal than technical and a little bit away from the Notion app. So, of course, we acknowledge that you are also a business owner and you have a video production company. What are the common problems you encounter in dealing with clients who are new to partnering up with a video production company?
Uh, can you repeat the question again?
All right, yeah.
Trying to think.
What are the common problems you encounter in dealing with clients who are new to partnering up with a video production company? Like they have never partnered with a video production company before. What are your usual what are the usual problems you encounter?
Okay. For this, I think most of the time there's already a mismatch in the things that we want to achieve. And that we're also not aligned with some terms, especially especially for timelines and budget. So these are things that also we try to see if we're the right fit for the client, and that they need us and that we can provide a good service for them.
Mm-hmm. Uh, what are the telltale signs that your ideal client needs your services? Say, uh, if I'm a new business owner, how would you know that I need your services, or at what stage of a business do they really need video services or video production services?
Okay. Most of the projects that we've worked with are for brands and that they use for their social media commercials, and also event coverages, and uh, just different types of video production. So I for the clients that I worked with are all they're all fun to work with,
Mm-hmm.
and we've also stopped working with different clients because they're hard to deal with, especially during the first project. And those are things that are very, very critical for me. So if I get a sense that we're not also aligned in values, and especially if I think it's also gut feel by now.
All right. Yeah. Assuming I'm a new client or a prospective client, what are the usual top? What are the usual questions that we first ask you as a supplier?
Sorry.
Uh, let's say I'm a new, let's say I'm a prospective client, and it's my first time meeting you and dealing with you as a video production company. What questions do I usually ask?
Oh yeah, they introduced the project in a very short way, that we need a video production team for this brand, and this is the timeline. Actually, they sometimes forget to say that firsthand, and they always ask what's your rate.
Mhm.
So can you send us a quotation, something like that?
Correct.
Yeah, because
And
I think
mhm,
that's what they usually different companies here want to know, what how much does it cost right away.
mhm,
Basically, I think that's how they filter different um, partners or video production teams to work with, is if they can afford it, or and that they can work uh, they can work fast.
mhm. All right. So, top of mind, you're saying that they would usually ask for if you can deliver it in the time frame they are asking you to, and
Yeah.
if it falls within their budget.
Yes.
All right. And were there times that they ask what cameras or gear you particularly use?
It's nowadays it's pretty rare, I guess. They don't sometimes they don't really ask what kind of camera unless you're also a video production company that wants to collaborate with us. I think that's also important for them to see if we have the same camera system. But if they're not, they just want they I think they just see our portfolio and then they want to work with us
All right.
because it's the work that that counts.
Right, right. And for your previous clients, or perhaps those who did not become your client, what are their common inhibitions? Assuming they have the budget and assuming you can provide things in within their timeline, what are their common objections or inhibitions of getting you as a service provider?
Common objections. Huh. I can't really think of one right now.
All right. And for those, again, earlier in this set of questions, I've asked if there are still companies who rarely outsource this kind of stuff and stick to the phone documentation that they are used to. But if I'm in the market looking for a video, uh, a service provider like you, what should I be considering other than budget and timeline?
Uh, One of the most crucial things that we want to check is if it's a really exciting project for us because we really don't want to
Mhm.
work on projects that are very dreading, and if we already get a sense that this is not worth it, that this is just gonna be something that would suck our energy, then we try to stay away from it
Mhm.
as much as possible because we don't want to get burned out. We're in this because we want to do it, you know. So values and are also very important because if we're not aligned, if the project has something to do with things that are not aligned with our values, then we don't want to support that.
All right. For those who are watching us today, I've been asking these questions because nowadays it's not just about the budget and the ability to meet the deadline anymore, but also finding the right fit, as they say. Uh, Nes was very keen and clear on that, mentioning that they don't work with companies that have opposing values and beliefs uh, from them, but also those that are not aligned in how they do the work itself. So yeah, that's really something to consider nowadays. And if you're starting or if you're a new business, you really get into the habit of taking in every client as much as you can while you're building up your portfolio. But later in that journey, you tend to select which ones trigger most of your creativity, which ones consider you as a partner instead of just someone who can execute their minds. Uh, and yeah, entrepreneurs. In the first place, we got into entrepreneurship because somewhat our freedom of decision making and creativity is limited when we were employed. And I think that goes to show that there's so much thought that we put into this creative work that right fit with clients is really important. So some more personal questions here. Let's circle back to how long you've been doing this for, and when did you first notice that you really love video production?
Okay. I think before I got the camera, I was doing design, graphic design, and even motion graphics. So that's something cool that I wanted to do back in college. So
Mhm.
when I got we had the class in in film school, in a film class, I should say. Uh, that's when I bought a new camera, and maybe I always wanted to have a nice camera, that has good quality and everything. It started with that. Just wanted to do some videos also, and then um, prior to Movie Media, we also have a different team, that a video production team that we built also, and then I think that's when it has become an opportunity for us to grow and to also earn money while still starting. So I think that was 4 or 5 years ago when we
Mhm.
started that different video production, and then here we are with Movie Media.
Right. Now I'm curious. All the more. Were there times that doing video production work felt repetitive, boring, and somewhat templated?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think those during the first 2 years, it was all grind, and all every project we try to we just say yes to every project as much as possible, even if they have a very low budget. Then in terms of it gets repeatable, sometimes it really does. Depending on the projects, like say we've done a lot of event coverages, and although they're very unique from each other, but in terms of workflow, we I can say that we just have a system for we just know what kind of shot list that we want, depending on what the client also wants to show as their video highlights for event coverages. So that's the thing.
Right, right. Uh, when these things happen, or if you feel bored, or you feel things get repetitive, uh, how do you get out of that feeling or mindset?
I I think you what I usually do is I try to step back a bit and then do other things. Look for other wins in life, because um, the video production company isn't everything. I think there's more to that in life.
All right. So, guys, you should also take a step back if things get busy, even in a work that you're really passionate in. So that's something to
Yes,
take note. And
and yeah,
sure,
sometimes
go ahead,
passion
Nes.
is not enough, right?
Right,
Sometimes if you just because you do it for because you're passionate about it, but that's not everything. Sometimes it's not really sustainable just to do that particular thing that you're passionate about. Because if you do it just because it's your passion, but it does not sustain you or it does not contribute to the world, it won't be really fulfilling, you know.
right, right.
Yeah.
This
I
next
don't know if
question is
that makes sense
right.
for you.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. But the next question would be really interesting as well. I'm sure there are people who would like to create video assets for their business, and but oftentimes some of them are. I mean, some of them are more excited about gear.
Oh
For
yeah.
you as a business owner, but also someone who have used a lot of gear in your business, what's your moral compass or your decision making criteria when deciding what gear to purchase next and when to purchase them?
Okay. Is this a question from the audience?
No. Not yet, at least. I'm not sure if it'll come up, but yeah. What's your moral compass or
All right.
decision making criteria?
So over since we started, I not just in getting gear, every time I decide on things that I want to acquire, the the what I want is that what I always ask myself is that will it bring value to me, and will I maximize it in the next months and years to come? Because when if I just buy something and then use it for 2 weeks, then it's done after that. So over the years, when we try to accumulate our cameras, lenses, and different gear, lighting, etc., I always think of the long term,
Mm,
that I should be able to maximize the value of that particular thing. So right now, even if there's a lot of upgrades or gear that are coming out in the market, I always really ask myself that will it bring more value to me, or as a creative and a business owner? And then that's another cost. It's very costly to upgrade gear every year. So if I can still manage to achieve the projects, finish the projects with the same gear, why not stick with what you have right now and maximize it? And then you can just what we do is just put that extra money into something else, right?
right. I especially ask that question also because sometimes I'm not sure if this is true to you as well, but at least for me, sometimes I feel that buying gear or purchasing gear has been a substitute to the required effort or action that you ought
Yeah,
to take for your business. You've been putting off, for example, me, I've been putting off video content for a long time now, and since 2020 when I started my own agency, I already knew that I should really put myself on camera to build a personal brand. I should really put out content to build an audience. But I've been putting that off. I've gotten a lot of software to optimize things, make things easier, make things. I mean, for me to do things a lot faster. But again, all of these things require effort, and sometimes just purchase or the act of purchasing something fulfills your heart as if you really did a big action there.
mhm,
But
right.
in reality,
Just
it's
for the
just
short term.
yeah, the short term satisfaction of I
New
bought
gear.
something.
Yes.
This should count as success. So
Doesn't last.
it doesn't last.
Doesn't
The feeling
last.
doesn't last.
And you
Right,
get frustrated at times because you bought something that you're not using a lot.
right, and you
That's
can't really
that's how
maximize.
we decide on things also. Like although others would say that well, for me, if it reaches a point where we should have had this thing during this project, and if it occurs
Mm,
a lot of times, then maybe it's time to get this because
right.
it is going to be very useful in the next projects as well. So that's how we build our equipment list.
Mm-hmm. Maybe last thing about gear. Sometimes you also tend to buy the cheaper stuff
Hmm.
that we instead of saving up for the better stuff.
Okay.
Uh, Through time, I noticed that yeah, I think Glenn Charles here is right. Uh, Gear is investment. So
Yeah.
I heard from a fellow YouTuber that buy it nice or buy it twice because we end up buying the cheap things,
Yeah.
wishing or hoping that it could substitute what a more expensive gear can do. But in the long term, we get the better tool anyway. So yeah,
Yeah.
buy it nice or buy it twice, they say. So before we
Yes.
continue, for those who do not know yet, I own a digital marketing agency. And as a digital marketing consultant, I've been exposed to hundreds of coaches, consultants, business owners globally. And I learned that getting yourself on video was the fastest way to build trust, especially if you're looking for the right people to offer your service to. It's rare that you can build trust through written text only. And personality almost always gives off how well you will work together through video. So that's why we started to offer the service, no? Nes? Micro videos are bite-sized, sub 60-second video content that are, I think, at an optimal length, short enough to avoid oversharing, and long enough for knowledge transfer and for call to action. And it packs the power of your ideas in a content that uses images, sound, and also introduce your personality, something you just can't do with pure text. And you might be familiar with this as well. I'm sure we have tried to avoid TikTok and YouTube Shorts and Facebook black hole, rabbit hole. But imagine being exposed to those people who are almost mindlessly watching those short form videos and promoting your building trust and building a community there through short form content. And that's a new service that we offer now. So again, I think this is true to. I've watched your profile videos on YouTube as well before going into this. There's so much personality involved in videos. Imagine one of your clients, or one of the top executives of your client, was speaking about something. I'm not sure if I can mention the name, but uh, talking about something, put that into a memo or put that into an announcement, and it doesn't get the feeling that the owner or the executive was trying to share on screen. So having it on the video that you created for them really was something else. And yeah, and with this in mind, I'm not sure if you have encountered these people, Ness. Have you encountered people who are not comfortable with the camera, or not they don't move gracefully in front of the camera? They are not necessarily photogenic, or they really feel awkward if they are in front of the camera. Have you encountered clients like this before, and how do you prep them up for a
Yeah.
shoot?
Okay. For this, I just before the interview, while the team is setting up the lighting and everything, I just ask them some random questions, so just to build rapport, and that's basically it. Just making them comfortable and just let them feel that they're in a good space where there's interaction, and then they'll just somehow casually talking to me,
Mhm.
having that kind of conversation. So whenever, since I interviewed them, it it's easier to have a good conversation as well.
Have you tried coaching them how they should move?
Now, not too detailed, I guess, because when I give a lot of instructions, that's that kind of makes them even more stiff, I think.
Mhm.
Like for example, you say we want them not to do this and that, remember this and that. They get overwhelmed, especially when they're in front of the camera. So, and what I just always remind them to just relax. We're just talking here, and I just want to know something like this. And we I think it's also crucial as a director or an interviewer to have that skill to make them comfortable way, and ask the right questions. And so what I do a lot of times is I ask the random questions that lead to what, and then frame it in a way that they want it. I frame it in a way that they get to respond uh, normally, So that's very important as well, because it's also harder if they have a script. Because if they have a script and what they're thinking is that they should have it memorized word by word,
Mhm.
and it sometimes it gets in the way. Some clients don't need that. They have the talent to memorize a line, but what I want to do is um, bring out their genuine answers and reactions from my questions, because that's what clients want, with genuine conversation, right?
Right. Um, I- Pardon the next question, but are there times when, of course, you're trying to make the the person on camera to be comfortable, then someone from their team, perhaps their communications team, their marketing team, pinpoints every word that's mistakenly said or hypercorrects things on
Okay.
camera? Yeah.
There are cases that they really need, because that's the script that they approve, the client approved, the agency did, and they want it word per word, and that's very important, especially for VOs, and that they want to speak those exact lines. And but so far, the clients that I worked with, they already have clients that can really deliver their lines. That whatever the client wants them to say, they can already say it in front of the camera.
Uh,
Especially influencers, of course, they're very natural with it.
you've mentioned influencers and differentiated them from other clients. Have you worked with influencers, artists,
Yeah,
and public figures before? Yeah.
yeah. Oh, I think so. There's this client that they have a lot of influencers. They have a pool of different influencers. So somehow they, of course, they became influencers because they can also deliver on that kind of um, particular thing. So whatever lines they want to deliver, word per word, they can just say it.
All right. Hmm. Have you encountered people who are really hesitant in putting their face on camera?
Oh, that would be me.
All
I don't
right.
want to be in front of the camera, honestly. But recently, I'm trying to also learn how to get comfortable in front of the camera, because I think it's also part of getting outside of my comfort zone and really bringing myself out there. And I think it would really so far it's kind of um, adding to my confidence as well. Because
Right.
I think this is also a skill that I've been building up ever since we started our our video production company, because uh, Bea and I are both introverts, and then we don't really talk to clients, and we don't even post on our social media a lot. So there's
Mhm.
a struggle, but then I think I had to step up, and I needed to have that confidence and courage to face clients and to engage them in a way that I can show that we're a really good professional video production company.
All right. Now, we will be answering questions from the viewers. And if you have questions, type them on the comments so we can answer them for you. And I think we have a few questions here already, or a few
Oh wow!
comments. Uh, f- Maybe one of the comment is uh,
Sure.
one of
Bye
our
bye.
favorite comments is buy
Glenn
anything from
Charles, the master of gear
the
acquisition.
master of buying gear. Yeah, the master of gear acquisition, Glenn Charles himself. And Glenn Charles was here last week, If you would want to watch the recording of our YouTube live, visit my channel, and if you want, like, subscribe, and share it as well. So, and of course, from the Gear Master, buy but call it an investment. So yeah,
Yeah, that's how you kind of justify buying new gear that you
yeah,
don't doesn't really contribute a lot, you know.
yeah. Again, my motto now in buying gear is buy it nice or buy it twice. So I
Buy it
have to
now,
save up.
think about it later.
That can't be in a business.
Yeah.
It's really a day-to-day decision of moving away from your shopping apps, and it's really hard. So let's get into the topic now. A question, of course, from the gas king. Would you put in money in Notion as a project management tool for your team?
Oh, probably right now, for now, not. I don't, but I'm subscribed to the personal, what do you call this? Personal pro plan,
Mm-hmm.
because it allows me to bring in unlimited guests and unlimited what file uploads as well. So you can use Notion for free, and I think I built my Notion with just the free features, and they're very generous with that. It allows you to make unlimited blocks. So before it wasn't really like that. I think it was limited to 1,000 blocks. I think, but right now you can use it for with unlimited blocks for free. So I subscribe because I want to upload stuff on Notion as well, and also invite more than 5 people to my page, because I'm also working with different teams, and I want them to get on board with the on Notion, and that's where we consolidate everything, all the details, so that everything's on the same page, right?
Yeah, right.
Right.
Pun intended. All right, but kidding aside, again, these are tools. These are project management tools, and they won't work if you don't have a system in place. So a system is something you can do on your notebook, on your Google workspace, or on your calendar. And if you don't have a system in place yet, our tendency, I think, this may be true to some people out there as well, that we buy tools thinking of the potential use case much later. And if it's not a lifetime deal, you can stick to the free version. And if
Yeah, you can
you
make it
find a
work for
lifetime
you.
deal, yeah, if you find a lifetime deal out there, and you see that you'll really have to use it, use it. So here's a question from Jamie: Can you use Notion for free?
Definitely. I used my Notion for free. I think I just subscribed a month
Mm-hmm.
ago, and pretty much most of the things I've done. I think the only difference is the uploads and the guests.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly, those are the two things that are really compelled me to subscribe, and it's not that expensive monthly
Right.
rate.
So for us, I've been using uh, I've used a lot of tools already, but I'm maximizing Google Workspace now. It integrates well with Zoom. It integrates well with my Go High Level CRM, and it also integrates well with my email marketing tools and Slack. So every time someone books a call with me, it adds on my calendar. It shows on my calendar on my two phones. It syncs with. It also messages me on Slack, informing my team of
Yeah.
what will happen next for us. And yeah, having those integrations are not things that should overwhelm you, but
It
it
should
is
work for you. If it
it should
doesn't,
work for you,
don't use it.
right?
You know?
And but I still use pen and paper. I
Right.
have a lot of post-it notes on
That's
screen
still
now.
a different kind of experience.
Yeah,
I
just
don't have a
because
good I don't have a good penmanship, so but I
I
can use
wouldn't brag
Notion.
about my penmanship either. So yeah, so let's get over with. I mean, let's just proceed, not talk about penmanship. But before we end, Ness, I think there are no questions for now. For those who are watching the replay, feel free to comment your questions and we'll be answering them as soon as we see them. But before we end, Ness, where can the people watching now know more about your services and how can they reach you?
Oh yeah, you can just approach us on our website. It's MOVI.media. And
All
then
right.
we also have Facebook and okay, let me just see. So of course we have it's on our Notion, guys. So we have our
Nice.
website, our YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook here. We just open up for you. So here you can contact us from here. If you don't want, just message our page or our Instagram. Okay, and then you can just check our works here or on our website as well.
So guys, don't worry. I'll be getting these links from Ness, so we can put them on the video description later, so you can easily find them as well. And again, they have you can see their portfolio here, and they have a good portfolio to show you. So if you are on the lookout for a video production company, hit us up, and we'll connect you with Ness. So guys, uh, next week we will be talking about vlogging and storytelling. And one of our friends, Krista Shane Funchon, will join us and tell us more about it. So for those who would want to start vlogging or perhaps would want to know if vlogging or storytelling is for them, uh, see you next week and we'll ask your questions from Krista Shane Funchon. And yeah, I
Oh yeah,
hope to see you
exciting.
all guys there. Really exciting stuff there. And after that, there are more. To be honest, the first three guests are really my close friends, but I've been reaching out to friends outside the inner circle to help you out more in your entrepreneurship journey and to help you be more to enable you in the things that you do for your business while being compassionate to yourself and to the people that you serve. So again, Ness, thank you very much for today. Thank you very much for taking
Thanks
over
for
the first
having me.
part of our show when my camera and laptop was acting up. And thank
All
you
right.
everyone for joining. Until next time, and remember, everyone needs compassion. Thank you very much, guys, and see you next week. Bye bye.